guys are wondering. That's why I do the little, you know, key on off, priming like the fuel pump. But this time it still did it. Didn't start right away. Man, this bike is dusty. I don't know, it's been this long since I rode it. The Fireblade is definitely louder. I forgot that I did the suspension on this bike last time I rode it. So the bike feels so much better now. It literally caught me off guard. I hate riding in the cold. I think I'm gonna be making more Tesla videos until it warms up. That is so not enjoyable, but I also messed up. I literally thought it was warm, so I'm only wearing a shirt under this hoodie. So yeah, right now we're gonna go back again. So Troy can install the velocity stacks on this bike, and they're gonna put on the new tune on it as well. Because, you know, with the velocity stacks, you need a new updated tune. And then I'm gonna be testing both bikes, making sure everything is good. Velocity stacks usually give you more power, like up top. So like higher speeds or higher, like super high in the RPM, that's where you're gonna get about like almost like 10-ish horsepower. So the bike is already crazy fast, so I can't imagine, because it's an 1100cc engine, so I can't imagine what the extra horsepower is gonna do. Yeah, this bike is also like very, very fast, but I don't know, the Fireblade just feels like it pulls hard. You know what I mean? Like it feels like you're going faster. I don't know, it's so hard to explain. I definitely think that the Fireblade is a little bit faster than this, but I definitely want to put them head to head, especially after I get the velocity stacks on this bike, because that'll be like more fair, because the Fireblade does have velocity stacks. So then they'll have the exact same thing pretty much. They're both gonna have velocity stacks, a tune, same exhaust pretty much. The Fireblade does have a full exhaust system, while this one does not. This one just has like a 3/4 decatted exhaust system. So definitely the Fireblade has a smaller advantage, but I believe this bike is a bit lighter. So that's a very, they're such different bikes, like riding them kind of like back to back. So different. I like how the tank feels on this one. I definitely sit more kind of like in, like, you know, this right here. My legs feel really good in position on this bike. Definitely not as good on the Fireblade. The Fireblade feels very racy, like I'm sitting on top of the tank. My nuts are always getting checked by the tank. This one's just way more of a comfortable riding position. I think like when you're stopped, they're equally loud. This one just has a like a deeper, more bass, man. But in general, like the other one is so sharp, you know what I mean? It just sounds like a lot. But I definitely think which is crazy to say, but I definitely think that the Fireblade is louder than this bike. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm excited because now they're pretty much the same thing. They have the same exhaust. This one does have a full system, this one doesn't. But
this doesn't need a good header.
okay, that's good to know. So it'll be a very, because when this gets the stacks, they're literally the same. They both have stacks, air filter, same exhaust.
Sprockets on this shit?
No, both no sprocket.
You do one down on both of these, are like two different bikes. Like these are geared way too tall.
Yeah.
They would do like 215 if they had room and had power to do it. But I just flicked it on real quick and everything's back to fair.
Thank God. That was really bugging my OCD.
I'm assuming that.
Yeah.
And then here, air intake top. And
yeah.
then what was the other menu you couldn't clear?
It was just that.
Okay.
It was just that, and it had the check engine light, which I don't see. So.
So this, put the idle back to stock, the lowest possible.
Mm-hmm.
Check it, and then I'll put it file 2. Once all this is sorted, I'll put it back to the way it was.
Okay.
But I just want your feedback
Yeah, I mean,
I'd
this.
rather just like do it perfect, you know.
Yeah, no, this looks perfect right now. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else that was bothering me. It was just that because I always like let it warm up to like 130, and I could never tell what 130 is in Celsius, and it was just annoying because I have to go back and forth. I've never seen the high beams. Yeah, so different going from one bike to the other. This tank feels like bulky. Like the other one, my legs sunk in. This one just feels like thick. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm putting my legs actually around the tank. The other one was kind of like designed for your legs to fit right in on the Aprilia. I definitely like the tank design on the Aprilia better. This one is very aggressive. Like I'm very up and kind of like in the dash. I mean, it's idling actually really good. 13, 14, like a tad lower. Not where it's like bad or, you know, it starts to kind of like idle funny, like bro. Oh my god, this bike is definitely faster. Just the way it pulls, like it just launches me backwards. It's kind of crazy. I really want to race them together just to see if it's like, you know, if it's just like a feeling or if it's actually like faster, or if this bike just feels faster. I'm trying to go to a lot of lights because that's the main thing that I'm checking is the bike's idling. I do want to go in 6th gear, but I don't know where I can do that, somewhere around here. Yeah, the bike is warmed up now and it's idling perfect, because that's the thing, like usually when it idles low it goes like so it's like pulsing, but now I like this like better. I would rather it idle a little bit lower as long as it's not, you know, like pulsing or dying. No check engine light because it's, you know, it's not as loud, and I don't like being like extremely loud when I'm just stopped, you know. It just sounds like the bike is revving. It wasn't like that before. At 1500 it was just a tad louder, but I definitely could hear the difference. Like now the Aprilia definitely sounds a little bit louder when it's idling. This one doesn't sound like as bad. This is perfect. If hopefully the bike rides perfectly, and if it doesn't stop or like stall or do any of these other issues, this is exactly what I wanted. This is perfect. Brent got the magic. That was so quick. It literally was gone for like probably 10 minutes and he already fixed it. Yeah, and maybe in the future I'll get the sprockets, because everyone tells me on both the Aprilia and this bike that if I get a new sprocket, the bike is gonna feel completely like crazier. But I honestly think these bikes are already so fast, so I'm like, I really don't mind, you know. The bikes are already like crazy, and I kind of like the top end. You guys know me, I like high speeds. Holy, like when this bike kicks in, you better just hold on or you're gonna fly off, like for sure. Okay, I definitely want to go through the gear, so hopefully like we'll turn here and I'll go through the gear, see how that feels. Everyone is staring when I'm coming in with this bike. That's what I'm saying, it's like crazy loud. It just sounds like a race bike. I can't tell. I think I don't know. It's so hard to choose between like the RSV4 and this one if I had to. I think I like this one a little bit better. This one has a little more flair. It's weird. It just looks a little more exotic, you know, because it's the newest, most fresh. The RSV4 definitely looks more menacing. It's such a like Batmobile bike, and it sounds amazing. But I don't know what about it. I never thought I would like Honda this much. Like that's why it was the last bike in the collection. I'm trying to do the thing where I'm like, because both times when it did the limp mode, I was literally just cruising around this speed in like 6th gear, and the bike just went into that limp mode. Till now I haven't even given it like full throttle, so maybe we'll do a little full throttle test, see how it really is. I'm literally still like in shock. I've had this bike for like a few months now, and I'm still like, how did they make a bike that, like, I don't know, I ended up liking so much? It does not make sense to me. Jeez, the bike is just like down, like super down low. It's actually not like that crazy. Like right here, it has a little like play, which I kind of like, you know. It's not like jerky. Like the R1, that's the thing with it. It doesn't have power up top, but like right when you go in the throttle, it's very like jerky. This one is very smooth, and then the power starts kicking in the faster you go, which is crazy. It just like keeps pulling more and more. I guess for this video, it's kind of like a comparison between the Aprilia, the RSV4, and this one, because honestly, they're about the same price. I think this one is a little more expensive, so it's a really good comparison. The way this bike like just winds up and sounds, I don't know what about it. It literally reminds me of the H2, just always loud. Like the H2 is only loud up top. So it's crazy, like how? Literally, the bike is perfect. Doesn't need to be touched at all. The bike is perfect. It literally doesn't need anything else. The idling is like perfect. It's like right around like 14, slightly goes down to 13, but like it's perfect. It's not like pulsing. It didn't. I went through a lot of like lights to see if it's gonna like, you know, start like doing that pulsing and then maybe die, because that's kind of like what would happen usually. Perfect. I went through everything. I full throttled it. The bike feels amazing. Feels really fast. I even did the 6th gear, because usually when it happened to me twice, I was in 6th gear about like 70, 80ish, and I was just cruising, and I tried doing that and it was fine. Yeah, that one again, like it's weird because like I've done it, and then like when I went back and did it, it happened. So I'll definitely ride it more, see if that issue specifically comes back. But like the last few rides, because even the last file before this with the yeah, that one, it didn't, like the issue didn't come up, and I rode it like 2-3 times. So I literally on the way like here, I was like, I can't believe like I'm so obsessed with the Honda.
No, I mean,
like
this bike got the real engine from HRT. Really...
Yeah, it blows my mind. Like the sound, the feel, like the only other bike that feels this aggressive is the H2, but it's not like bad aggressive. Like the H2 is a little jumpy. It literally reminds me of the Plaid, where like the faster I go, the more it pulls, and I'm like, how?
This, in my opinion, has the best sound in higher speed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like any bike in this world.
Yeah.
It sounds wild.
It's so raspy. It is kind of similar to the H2. It has that raspy, like high-pitched screaming, but the H2 is like that up top. This is always like this, so I love it. Yeah, this is weirdly like, I guess one of my favorite bikes. It's so weird to say, just because, you know, it's the last bike of the collection. I got it because I was like, it just looks cool, and the numbers are cool. But when I rode it, I'm like, I can't believe it has this much character and it feels this good. That must be factory. I'm telling you, this bike had like 200 miles, completely bone stock, completely. The previous owner apparently like raced for Aprilia, so he had a full like this same bike but track only, and this was his kind of like street bike, but he never rides on the street, so he literally just had it ever since it came out. Only had 200 miles, and then the same guy himself put on consignment with the dealership, the Aprilia dealership. That's why when I walked in, I had no plans of buying an Aprilia, but I saw it, and this is my favorite color year and body style. So when I saw it and it's like 200 miles and it's pretty much brand new, I'm like, I have to take it. It's gonna be a comparison. So I just rode these two back to back, and I was saying that this is fast, but this definitely feels like faster and more aggressive. So now after this is done, I'll ride it and see if it feels equivalent now. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be supposedly like faster and better. This bike is just missing some carbon fiber parts and it should be all good. Those stacks look so different. It's just like, I've never seen stacks that look like that.
You see our Booster one, that machine's like $500,000. It's weird.
Jeez. That's Aventador right there. So it's like completely different machines that the one that made the stacks. Yeah, that's why when you told me that you guys are making stacks for the Ape, I was like, this bike can get better. I think this was the easiest one where you literally just came, tuned it, and it was done. Perfect.
Yeah, these I'd say this bike is the most difficult to tune. There's just so many moving parts. This, in my opinion, is the easiest. This is easier than the BMW. So if I tune one of these, it doesn't matter if it's in Malaysia or whatever, they all run good. They're all easy. Like, You change the stacks, it still runs awesome. It doesn't like need tuning, but like
Yeah. Preferred. Yeah. Well, there you guys heard it. If you're thinking about Aprilia, yeah, like I have my fuel pump issue, like you guys will see, or I think it's the fuel pump.
Yeah,
That starting issue.
it's a priming issue, remember, because we didn't put any fuel when we were trying to crank it.
Yeah. There's the tank. That's a big tank. Honestly, for this video, I'm gonna do kind of like a comparison between these two bikes, because they're kind of like around the same price. They're both amazing track bikes. They both are crazy fast. So, and now they're almost identical setups. Camera died as I was saying goodbye. We're taking the bikes back home. So, thank you guys so much for watching.